Alright, in this tutorial we're going to just learn how to create a basic mug like this one here. First things first, this is your view cube. So when you want to work around your work plane, note that it is movable so you can change your viewpoint. If you ever get lost, this is your home view. So it always goes back to a nice orthographic view of your mug. Orthographic means you see top and side together. It's kind of slanted versus just looking at bird's eye view or just looking at side view. Okay, so you've created in your sketches your side view 2, and your bird's eye view. Those are the sketches you should have. So can you please try navigating your view cube to make sure it's easy? But again, if you get lost, home view. This one is your fit-on window, which means it only allows you to see your two-dimensional shape, and you can zoom in and zoom out with the plus minus tools there. And again, just like your home view, that's kind of the orthographic standpoint, thinking of your clientele and if that's actually a usable thing. Home view kind of does the same thing, but it's more viewed out. Okay, so I'm going to delete that and we're going to make it together. So it is a cylinder. That's the starting point. So things to note, you have basic shapes here. This is what you're combining and merging or subtracting to make your shapes. You can create custom shapes, but that is a later tutorial. So when you bring in your shape, you have to figure out your size, okay? Things to note, right now it says 20, but I don't know the measurement or increment of that. At the very bottom, I can see here that I'm in millimeters. Edit grid, this is where I talked about know what you worked in. So I tend to think in inches, so I'm changing mine to inches because that is the design usuals. So update grid, everything's kind of done in inches. So looking at this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this tells me that each single grid is 1 inch by 1 inch. So if I'm aligning it to snap to that, so you can snap to your inches, or you can turn it off. If I'm aligning it to snap to my inches, I'm going to scale it and you can see the size of your cup going. So you can choose to type in the number if you know that it's 3.25 by 3.25, then you have your shape to start. Now, this is where your viewpoint's important because currently, as you can see, it's only a certain height. So it's important that you orient the height as well. So how tall is my mug going to be? That's an important question. And I'm going to type in the number into that grid there. So my mug is going to be about 4.5 inches tall. That looks way too tall. Let's do 4. Okay. So here is my mug. Sound good? Now, key things. You actually want to add a handle to your mug. That is done with a torus. Okay? To rotate a torus, you can choose to use these side viewpoints. If you're not on the right view, you're not going to see the right rotation axis. So that's really important to make sure you're on the right view angle to see the right axis. So to turn it the other way to actually move into the mug, I need to actually change my viewpoints. So from here, I want to scale it, and it's just a handle, so I'm just going to freeform it. Became very wide very fast. There we go. All right, and if you hold shift, it scales everything kind of uniformly, but you can always customize the width, customize the height, and then I'm just going to click and move that into my mug. Always, always make sure you're looking at it from many viewpoints to make sure it actually is lined up. I find when you look at different viewpoints, things look a little bit different. There you go. See, it's extruding below the bottom. And that did not move up or down, so let's go to one viewpoint and move that up. All right, let's go to a side view. And then I see my mug is way too fat of a handle. So I'm just going to shrink that down a little bit. Okay. So I think I'm pretty content other than the fact that it's sitting too low. So I'm going to move that up a little bit. There we go. Okay. So now, things to note. When you select multiple things, you have more options. When you have one thing selected, you have, okay? So if you want to see more options, you can select multiple things. So I'm going to go to the top view and select both the torus and the cylinder, and I'm going to align them. I want them to be center aligned. That means that it goes to the center of this larger shape, so it's in the center of my mug. There you go. So from aligned. Now, if this is bothering you that they're separate colors, you can always change the color of your shapes to whatever color you so choose. Okay? Next thing is we're going to create a hollow to this. Now, unlike 123D, there isn't just a button that I can shell. I wish there was, but there's an easy way around it. I'm going to copy and paste this mug, and I'm going to simply just scale it down a factor, and then I'm going to move that into the mug. So I'm just going to bring it up so it's easier to see, so it extrudes a little bit. But I'm going to select circle A, circle B, and when you have two things selected, you have more options. I'm going to, again, center align this together. First thing, before you do that, because these are now where I want them to be, I'm going to group them. So that's considered one shape. Okay, now when I go to my grouping, I'm selecting the cylinder with the mug handle and the second shape. Align. Oh. Okay. Align. And I want it to go again to the center of that and the center of that. And obviously, it's okay if I need to customize a little bit. Okay. Again, always look for multiple viewpoints, but I find looking at a straight view versus an angled view is always a little bit more clear about where you are. And you can move with the indicators, the arrow keys on your keyboard to move smaller viewpoints. So what you're going to do is you're going to select that inner shape. Make sure it doesn't go all the way to the bottom because then you have a hole in your mug. And you're going to select the inner shape and select hole, which actually isn't a hole yet. It gives you the illusion, but if I move that, the hole's gone. So then what I do is I select my mug thus far and the hole, so I have everything selected. And when I group them now, and I select group, it now will shell out. So if you are using and you want to hollow something, you have to take the solid shape, convert it to a hole, select the shape you want to remove it from, and then group. That's when it will actually cut away from your shape. And then I have this mug. If you want to clean up your mug, when you select your mug, we can do that in the exporting stages. But I just wanted to start you with kind of basic merging, subtracting, and orientation.